As an artist going into 2025, I have some big goals, and I know that I'm not the only one. So I came up with a list of 5 things that I think that us artists should quit doing this year to get ahead on our creative goals. If you're new here, my name is Erin, and I make videos about art and creativity and the mindset around all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in getting ahead on some creative goals and want to take some steps, some actionable steps to get there, then stick around. The first thing that I want to address and that I think that we should all quit doing as much as possible is scrolling on social media. I think that social media can be a really great tool for networking and getting our art out there, but I also think it can be a big waste of time, and it can cause us to compare ourselves to other people and to compare our art to other people's art. And they do say that comparison is the thief of joy. I also think that to a certain extent, comparison can be the thief of authentic creativity. And if you're using a scroll session on social media as a way to unwind, I would suggest finding other ways to do that, like getting out into nature, going for a walk, or something that doesn't require staring at a screen. The second thing I think that we should all consider quitting this year is surrounding ourselves with toxic people. And that can look like a lot of different things. I think that when I think of a toxic person, I think of people who suck your energy, like the energy vampires of the world. I also think of people who doubt that creativity and art are worth pursuing. Whether you're pursuing it as a career or as a hobby, either way, it's valid and worth doing. And a lot of people don't think that. And when you're an artist trying to pursue your art, it's important to surround yourself with people who believe in what you're doing. And a toxic person can also just be somebody who says a lot of negative things, or, doesn't speak positively about themselves or doesn't speak positively about you. It's so important to put yourself in a calm and empowered state of mind in order to be as creative as possible, because you can't be stressed out and negative at the same time that you are using your creative brain to its fullest potential. Surrounding yourself with positive people and people that just help you work towards your goals is going to be huge for your creative growth. The third thing that I think that we should all try to quit doing this year is doing things that we don't want to do. And while that can mean getting a job that you like better or moving to a place that you like to live more than where you're at now, the things that I'm thinking more of are like agreeing to plans that you don't necessarily want to do, or going out on a date with somebody that you don't really want to go out on a date with. Like, these things all are going to rob you of your energy and any mental space that you would normally be using for something else, maybe something creative or artistic. And obviously there's going to be things we have to do that we don't want to do, like washing the dishes or doing your laundry if you don't like to do those things. But there are other things that are within your control. Even if you have like a job that you don't like and you hate going to that job every day, consider getting a different job, even if it's still within the same like realm. Like, say you work at a coffee shop, consider getting a job at a different coffee shop, or consider moving into a different part of that industry. Use your experience to move into an arena that you actually want to do and look forward to doing. This life is way too short to be doing a bunch of stuff that you don't want to do. I would also apply that to your creative practice and to art in general. If you are taking on a bunch of commissions that you don't want to do, or you're creating things just for the sake of making them and it's not necessarily what you are passionate about, take a step back and think, like, how can I use my time in a way that feels worthwhile to me and do things that I actually want to do rather than like making art that you're not really interested in because you feel like you have to. Number 4 is a big one, and I think that we need to quit neglecting our self-care routines. For me, that looks like I have been exercising every day, and I do 20 minutes on my stair stepper, and then I do Pilates and stretching. That is a very sustainable self-care routine for me. And then I meditate, and if I feel like it, I'll write in my journal, I'll read, I read every day. Those things, if I stopped doing all those things, it would change things dramatically because doing those things on a daily basis makes me feel grounded. I also think that a lot of people tend to skip out on self-care routines, whether you're just waking up and getting straight into your day, or you come home and you take care of everybody else but not yourself, or you skip your lunch break and you work through it and then you don't get any time to stop and breathe during the day. One thing that I personally need to get better about at work is taking my 10-minute breaks. And I think that just doing those little things throughout the day where you're not neglecting yourself can make a huge difference for your creativity because your mind and your body are not feeling neglected. And that is what you need to use in order to be creative. So nurturing those things, caring for your body and your mind is going to go a huge, long way to helping your artistic growth. I think that meditating and exercising daily are like the bottom line, like most helpful things that I do personally. I also think that reading is a big one. Sometimes I read fiction and other times I'll read motivational books or something else like that. But either way, just not skipping out on that self-care routine, whatever that looks like for you, is going to go a long ways in your growth. Number 5, the last thing that I think we should really quit this year is staying cooped up inside. And that's something that I tend to do. And that's the biggest thing that I really want to change and work on for myself this year is I tend to go into this mode of like, I need to be at home in my studio creating, and any time away from that, it's like wasted time. But I am trying to reframe that thinking, and I would encourage you to do that as well, where I think that going out into the world and going out in nature or just going to a coffee shop for a couple hours and working on your laptop or drawing or something where you're getting out of your house can make a really big difference with inspiration, absorbing information from the outside world, and just getting a different perspective. I think that one great way for like artists and creatives to get out there and not stay cooped up inside is to go to art museums. And I know I'm privileged that I live in a big city where there's a lot of places to go, and hopefully where you are there are art museums available, or at least small local galleries or art shops that you can go to. But going out to those types of places can really like open your mind to other people's art and can give you inspiration in the way of you're seeing all of this art in front of you physically. I think it's a lot different than looking at it on a screen on social media. It's actually physically in front of you and you can look at it up close. Anything that will get you out of the house, anything that will inspire you or broaden your surroundings a little bit is going to really help foster your creativity, and it will help you avoid that thing of like getting caught up in your own little bubble, which I tend to do, and I really want to fix that and break out of that habit. I hope that some of these ideas were helpful for you. I would really love to hear in the comments section what things you think you might try quitting this year. And I hope that this helps you get ahead on your creative goals, genuinely. I have a lot more videos planned for this year, so stick around for those, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.